Hello, guys. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. And we're looking at the case of Magu as he had made up his mind to reveal the people who are actually after his life. And his legal team had also thrown to Buhari and the Ayosalami probe committee 10 questions which they are demanding for an answer. And the news have it that IbrahimMagu, the suspended acting chairman of the EFCC, has claimed that some powerful tools he stepped on while doing his job were out to tarnish his image and destroy his reputation. Magu told the Presidential Committee on Audit of Recovery Asset PCARA that suspect and other criminal elements he prosecuted were after him. Magu's claim were contained in a response he addressed to the PCARA probing the mismanagement and the lack of transparency in managing recovered assets by the anti-corruption agency in the last 5 years. The embattled suspended EFCC boss denied any wrongdoing while in office, insisting that all he did was fight corruption to a standstill in the country. He said his traducers were out there publishing false information about him on social media platforms. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, had in the petition he submitted to the PCARA claimed that the lack of proper record keeping and discrepancy in the recovery figures was a dent on the anti-corruption drive, as well as raising integrity issues that can lead to loss of public confidence. Part of Malami petition said, for instance, EFCC states 836 as the number of recovered real estate in the original return it made to Mr. President on the 7th of April 2017. However, in its first return to PCARA on 13 December 2017, EFCC gave the figure of 339, while in the second return to PCRA on the 9th of March 2018, it stated the recoveries to be 504. The first and the second returns total 843. Responding to this, Magu, who was detained for about 10 days after his arrest by the Department of State Services (DSS), told the panel that in the exercise of my official function as acting chairman of the commission, I have stepped on toes in ensuring that corruption is fought to a standstill in Nigeria. Some of the suspects under investigation and prosecution are always ganging up to fight me back, publishing false, untrue, malicious, and libelous allegations against me. I have never abused the office I am occupying at the pleasure of Mr. President. I have never personally enriched myself while performing my official function. I challenge my accusers to produce any evidence of these purported personal enrichment, Magu said. Arguing further, he claimed that under his watch there were no cases of mismanagement of recovered assets or funds. According to him, he said no assets were sold and the proceeds thereof converted. There had been no mismanagement of or lack of transparency in the management of recovered assets under my leadership of the commission. There has been no diversion of proceeds from recovered assets or personal enrichment on my part. I carefully I carefully investigate into what has been recovered and what has been paid into the appropriate accounts, and this will easily confirm. I unequivocally deny this allegation as same are untrue and merely calculated to tarnish my name, that of the Commission, and the giant stride of this administration has recorded in the fight against corruption and recovery of the proceeds of corruption. He said, Magu said he has never in his years of service put a dime of the recovered fund to his personal use, challenging his accusers to produce evidence of any fraudulent conversion. The suspended EFCC boss said all his actions while in office were documented and followed the prescribed procedures with necessary approvals. I am innocent. I have served my country to the best of my ability with all sense of responsibility and integrity. He maintained that the records of his achievement are there for all to see. I respect I respectfully invite the panel to note the stellar and unprecedented achievement of the EFCC under my watch as the acting chairman. Those were the things he said. And also, his legal team came up with some strong questions which they are demanding answers from the Ayosalami panel. And one of such questions that they asked was, I'm going to read some of those questions. The first question they asked was, why is it that the panel is inviting suspects facing EFCC trial? He asked the second question, what is the basis of the panel invitation to a senior lawyer, Mike Ozeome, senior advocate of Nigeria, a lawyer that is defending the looters of our common patrimony, especially those who are under EFCC investigation and trial? He went further again to ask, he said, what is the property of the panel's invitation to a disgruntled officer of the EFCC, Nuru Buhari Dahatu, to come and testify against Mr. Magu, while they said Dahatu is under investigation for misconduct and fraternizing with suspects? The fourth question is, what is the justification for the panel's invitation of another senior advocate of Nigeria, Godwin Obla, who is currently facing EFCC trial with an indicted judge of the Federal High Court? Is it not strange that Obla made a damning revelation on what transpired before the panel and went ahead to demand for his outrageous legal fee of 763 million naira and the striking out of the charges against him? Why is the panel hostile to Mr. Magu at any time he tried to take up issues with those invited to testify against him? How come that a fact-finding panel over allegation of corruption against Mr. Magu has now turned to a platform where certain individuals whose action and antecedent fit into the description corruption enablers as well as haters of the war against corruption and its leadership are being invited to testify against Mr. Magu? There is the need to ask this important question: has any witness testified that he or she gave so amount to Mr. Magu in order to compromise cases before him? Why is it that the Salami-led panel is yet to save and confront Mr. Magu with all the allegations against him, and what are the terms of reference of the panel? Wow, those are very strong questions that should be answered. Magu has disclosed to Nigerians his standpoint, and his legal team had also thrown about 10 questions to to Buhari and also to Ayol Salami led probe committee, and those questions are very important. For example, the last one that is being asked is something that relates directly to corruption. If Magu is guilty, let Nigerians know. Why don't you call him and ask him questions? For example, he made mention of the fact that those whom you have invited to answer questions, or whom you have invited so that you can get their own version of their stories, have they made any claim to the fact that they have given so amount of money to Magu so that they can, influence anything, like influence the judgment or influence any cases that is kept before him? If that is true, come up. Now, let's be real. If you've listened to some of those who have gone in to be interrogated by these Ayosalami probe committee, you will notice that none of them, when they came out and they gave Nigerian an idea of what they discussed, none of them made mention of the fact that there were some fraudulent things that Magu did with them. For example, when Ozaome, who is senior advocate of Nigeria, went in, he actually brought up the issue of the poor leadership structure of EFCC, and also talked about a video where he openly, tried to correct the EFCC boss on, leadership and all of that. There was nothing really indicting. There was nothing pointing to any form of corrupt activity. And I'm not trying to defend Magu. Certainly, I'm not defending him. I'm very objective. But these are some truths that one can easily point out. Now, Obla also has been invited to come in and, talk. And all what he's talking about is the fact that he had worked for EFCC, and yet he has not been paid his legal fee. He made mention of the time that he started to the last time he defended everything. He said instead they rob him with all manner of allegation about 763 million naira legal charge he put on them. Up till today, a kobo has not entered into his hand, and that's what that was it. But he did not say that there was any act of changing of money, exchange of money. There were some transaction that resulted to exchange of money and all of that. So with that, I think to some extent this panel may not really have so much, to bring up against Magu, except for the part that is yet to be revealed. Because why I'm saying that, this guy came up, Shehu Gaba, who is the presidential spokesperson on media, made Nigerians to know that by the time the Ayosalami probe committee will come up with their report, that Nigerians will be shocked to their bone marrow. But thus far, the few persons who have gone in for questioning, or who have gone in to be investigated, or to be questioned about their activity with EFCC or with Ibrahim Magu, none of them have anything visible that they are holding against him. Now, those questions have been thrown out. I believe in the course of the week that Buhari and even the Ayosalami led probe committee will give answers to it, so that we know the direction we are heading. That's where we are going to leave it to. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. Don't forget that Jesus loves you real good, and do well